Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Now remember, you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good, and you found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously and conscientiously to I on Las Vegas with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. And you tuned in for one reason and one reason only, because you care the most in the entire world about you. YOU, because you know in this show we discuss the three fundamentals of life, and these three fundamentals enable you to be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? Because we bring to you some of the most interesting, amazing, fabulous people from the greatest city on earth in terms of energy. So the three fundamentals, of course, are number one, life. Your life has purpose. When you live a purpose-driven life, number two happens. In this case, good number two, you go mad. MAD stands for make a difference, and you're going to be making a difference with our amazing, wonderful Dr. Cheri in just a moment or two. And the third is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Greatest one is SMILE. SMILE is an amazing acronym that stands for Seeing Miracles in Life Every Day. How do you like that? So here we are in Las Vegas. And why do we call it I in Las Vegas? Because this is one of the most amazing cities in the world. If you take the population of the state of California, the most populous state in America, and you add the entire population of the state of Oregon, and you add the entire population of the state of Washington, it doesn't equal the visitors that come to Las Vegas in 1 year. Over 40.8 million people come here because this is a city of energy, of uplift, of power, positive, purposeful, and pleasant. And there's no other exponent that I can think of is going to help us enjoy the well-balanced mental health way of doing that than amazing, wonderful, fabulous Dr. Cheri Sotelo. Cheri, would you please say hello to 386,219 people around the world?
Good morning, everybody.
Well, those of you who are privileged to be watching as well as listening, you're going to get a special treat because she is just beautiful. I mean, physically, mentally, spiritually. And yes, it's absolutely a pleasure. If you're only listening to her voice, I'll stop talking and let her speak because she is filled with goodness. If I start telling you all the stuff about Dr. Cheri, she wants to be called Cheri, okay, Cheri. It will take the rest of the show. So all you have to do is go to my website, barryshore.com, or go to Las Vegas. The link is below here. Everything about Dr. Cheri will be there. And there's so much you want to know because she is the essence of giving, which, by the way, is the essence of Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a city that's built on giving. If it wasn't, it would not be attracting people. So, Cheri, let's just jump right in and talk about what you do, and you do so well for so many people. It's about mental well-being, not mental illness, mental wellness. So educate us, talk to us. What's the difference? What do you do, kid?
Oh, what don't I do? I don't sell shoes and I don't sell cars, but what I do handle is everybody's mental health. Again, like you said, Barry, mental health is not mental illness. Mental health is our psychological well-being, our social well-being, and our emotional well-being. It's us, how we are, just being every single day, in and out of life, in and out of our relationships, in and out of our careers or our retirement or rewirement, wherever we're at. That is what I handle every single day, 7 days a week. I don't know how to stop working. Why? Because my mental health is great. I know how to live in that well-being space, and I love helping people with their well-being space.
Oh, wait a minute. This is so pleasant and powerful and unexpected. Your articulation of what you do, how you do it, and that you welcome people to be in that same space. See, everybody's listening is saying, well, wait a minute. Well, that's easy for her to say. She's beautiful, she's rich and famous and all that sort of stuff. Well, hello. I'm sure that you are here because you've been through stuff and the ability to not just overcome, but to live through and radiate stuff. So let's not go so much into your personal life because I'm sure there are things we can talk about. I want to share with people that what Cheri does is not just in theory. In practice, she is the tip of the spear for helping tens of thousands of people. She has been, by the state of Nevada, asked to help people. So let's just jump right in and talk about the global impact of what you're doing with health and wellness. What is health and what is wellness?
Well, what do we think it is? Because at this point, our mental health is going to be whatever we say it is. In my opinion, it's how do we move? How do we live? How do we eat? How do we interact? That's all healthy ways of living. And that, how else can we operate if we're not in a healthy space? Well, we know how we can operate if we're not in a healthy space. It takes us down so quickly. And yes, the state of Nevada has brought me in everything from being a licensed clinician to one of the very first drug and alcohol dual diagnosis counselors there was back in 2007 to, unfortunately, but fortunately, even right down to the child death review team. Why do people expire? How do these things happen? How do we prevent it? So the preventative component of health is just as important as living healthy every single day.
So I want to unpack a couple things here because I so love that you've made the time to be with us today. This is not just important. This is fundamental and mandatory to living well. So I want to share with you two wonderful acronyms. One is health. Health, HEALTH, helping everyone achieve life through happiness.
Yes.
That's health. And joy, living in joy. Joy stands for journey of you. Everybody has a journey. Everybody's journey is unique and special. I do want to touch on that third rail that you brought up. Today, in today's environment, more so I think than in the past 20, 30, 50 years, you wouldn't go back that far, but I do because I'm 75 chronologically, is that suicide, especially amongst younger people under 30, is on the rise.
Suicide is our number 2 cause of death worldwide. And this is why there is an impact for health and wellness globally. By 2030, the World Health Organization anticipates that mental health, namely suicide, is going to be our leading cause of death in this world, on this planet, that we are taking ourselves out because we do not know how to care for ourselves. We don't know how to care for one another. I come from an immigrant family and I'm raised in a way that says we take care of one another so well that nobody should go left unnoticed. And that's what I bring down to that global strategy is like, how can I, as one person, extend myself to help another person, then by proxy go exponentially that we can link arms and help each other. So that's really what health is about. That's that good health space.
So I want to share another acronym that we use in our world because we're in the world of joy, happiness, peace, and love. And it's a great word that I know you use, and it really helps a lot of people. And the word is hope. HOPE. Hope stands for helping others progress every day. So as you mentioned, I actually got the visual from you. And again, those of you who are privileged to watch, she's such a radiant being. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Is I actually saw you reaching out to your right and to your left to help another person. That's really what it's about, because when one is in service, I'm not telling you, I'm asking you, when one is in service, in other words, caring for someone else or other beings, that is the greatest way to help oneself. Is that not true?
Absolutely. It changes our operating system, meaning our body and our mind at the same time. There is such that connection whereby what we think and how we live is how our body responds also. When we're helping others, we may have a stress, but it's a different type of stress. When we're actively engaging with other people in that helping role and in that servant leadership role, it means we're moving. So we're getting that exercise and the things that we are supposed to incorporate to live a better day every day. So this is where you may not think, or some people may not think that, oh, well, helping is going to help me. It helps you immensely. It keeps our mind active. It keeps our body active. It keeps our lungs full. It keeps the heart pumping, keeps the exercise and the muscles going strong. So this is a great way to give yourself self-care while taking care of others.
Self-care is, we want to move it just slightly, that what we call a shift in perspective from being selfish to self-care.
Yes.
In other words, what a great insight. First of all, a big thank you to you. You hear me? A big thank you to you for articulating it so well, because we have people listening throughout the planet. And there are many, many people, because I know I get emails, communication and such from people from other parts of the world who say it's very difficult in my country, my place, because we don't have the same energy like America. And man, we're blessed in America to have this expansive mindset. And the reason we have this wonderful podcast called I in Las Vegas, because in my humble opinion, people think of Las Vegas, think of glitter, they think of gambling. Okay, that's true. What really happens here is that people are attracted to being here because it is a high energy location. And you said it so with genius, physical, mental, and spiritual. And it's so interesting. I'll share with you, and then I want your comment. One of the most important groups in Las Vegas, actually two, people, or the large set of people who own the establishments called casinos, because that attracts a lot of people. What the greater good is, or the greater interesting, is something called the service union, the people who actually make all that stuff work. And interestingly enough, there's been great studies. The service union in Las Vegas, which is plus minus 150,000 people, is the strongest, the most dedicated service union in the world, Cheri. And it makes everything work. And the owners and the unions get along because they recognize that they work together for everybody's benefit. So I want to use that as a jumping off point to ask you, can't we learn from that how we want to work in the microcosm of me personally, family, friends, business, and relationships?
So what was the question? How do we want to work that way?
How can we use this idea of the service being a service union, working with what others called the owners, and they work together because they recognize each other can't be great without each other. Can't be great. You can't have Las Vegas without it. Am I right?
You're right. It's our environmental homeostasis. It's that place of balance. It's if we all feel good working together, guess what? We smile, we laugh, we come together, we eat together. We understand that it takes this energy and vibrational exchange between our community that allows us to propel even further every single day. Because I know I've been in plenty of environments where everyone around me was a little bit grouchy, corporate America for a long time. And it just brought it down. And do you really want to go and work in that area? Do you want to go and do things for 8 hours, 10 hours a day? Or when you get to your workplace or you get to your community environment, your hobby space, and everybody's laughing and joyful, and we have hugs and we give and we're like, hey, we've got this wonderful thing going. Do you want to be there? Absolutely. And so that's what the service industry does. And to go back and add a little bit to that self-care place, I always say self-preservation over self-deprivation. If we can be in a place of love and light, why not?
Wait a minute.
What is it going to do?
I want to be in a place of love and light. Oh, that is so descriptive. That's your life. I want to quote you because you're now using great terms. The environmental homeostasis. Oh, that's why I'm so glad, Cheri, that you're here. Environmental homeostasis. That's a place of balance. That's a place of love. That's a place of light. And here's what I'm going to say. And then after we come back from the commercial break, I want you to tell me, Barry, you're full of it, or hey, you're full of it. Every human being can achieve environmental homeostasis. And before you say anything, we're going to go to a quick break. We have sponsors that love our show, so we wouldn't have them if we didn't think they're worthy of your attention. So we'll be right back after this short break, not even a minute. Be right back.
What if you could shop at your favorite local stores, swipe your current credit card, and get extra cashback rewards? And what if you could also have donations sent to your favorite cause at no extra cost to you? What if this amazing program was absolutely free and very simple to set up? Well, What If is here. Welcome to Einstein Cares, where your everyday shopping gives you and your favorite cause extra money. It's fast, it's easy, and effortless.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe good-looking, so I was looking for and finding good. Our cup runneth over with good. Cliffhanger. Dr. Cheri was just talking to us about EH, environmental homeostasis, and every human being on the planet can live in a place of light and love. Let's shift, if you be so kind, to talk about this remarkable place that you set up, Faces of Illness, what it is. I want everybody to know that, and anything you want to know about Dr. Cheri is at the website, barryshore.com, or go to ilasvegas.com. It's all there. This Faces of Illness is an amazing place because it's the winner of the 2024, that this year right now, International Impact Book Award for Female Empowerment. That's a mouthful and a half. So let's talk about Faces of Illness and what you do there and how it helps people.
Oh, the Faces of Illness is really the passion project that spurred during COVID. And I was finding that more often than not, as a clinician, a licensed clinician, some of my telehealth clients were coming through and saying, well, I have this mental health diagnosis. And it's like, okay. But I asked the questions of what else is going on medically? Well, lo and behold, 80% of my people were medically ill versus mentally ill. And that's a huge, huge problem, because when we run down this gamut of, hey, what's wrong with me? Oh, it's just anxiety. It's just depression. It's my this and it's my that. And people feel so hopeless and helpless. But during COVID, we couldn't get to doctors. It was so much easier to write it all off as a mental health condition as opposed to what's going on medically. So I sought out to change the face of illness. What is the face of illness? It is chronic conditions, it's terminal disease, it's rare disorders. And guess what? It doesn't have to be our stopping point. We are not a walking billboard for just this place of despair. We don't have to be. So I created a coffee table art book, a photography of, I know, talk about a mouthful, of all of these beautiful executives that came to me as mental health patients. And lo and behold, they suffered from medical illness. Our bodies are just mechanical systems. If one system is off, the rest of the system is off. So it's kind of like driving a car. Well, if you have a failed spark plug, it kind of just putters through. Our bodies are that same way. So when I do my clinical work, I ask the questions, is there anything going on in the body that would set off a domino effect that makes you feel down, or it puts the body into a depressed state because it doesn't operate correctly? And so by doing that and giving that hope and opportunity for people to finally be heard, that it's not just all in my head, where they get to that almost suicidal, and some of them were suicidal states, they're like, okay, so my illness, I can face my medical challenge. And then I became a huge advocate because I'm one of those people. I'm one of those very long-term chronic conditions and rare disorders people. But people look at me and they're like, but you walk fine. I was like, yeah, but I wasn't supposed to be walking. I'm supposed to be in a wheelchair. But you look great. Yeah, but you don't notice half my face is paralyzed because I trained myself how to raise up through muscle work at post-stroke.
Wait a minute. This is so impactful in the most positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant way. Remember, we said joy means journey of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're now listening to Cheri, and she's telling you, hello, I've been there. Not have been, I am there.
I am. And that's what the Face of Illness is about. It's like, hey, let's band together. We do not have to be stuck somewhere that we don't want to be. We have choices. And this is about creating the environment and being around the people that are going to elevate you, that are going to help you, that are going to bring light to all of these things. I'm even involved with now a wonderful organization called Love and Light Foundation that brings hope to families with kids that have terminal cancer. I mean, there's just so many ways that we can give back and we can help. Why? Because that helps with the longevity of the person in a good state, in a healthier state. But it's about being active in engaged, and ready to participate even in these hard topics. So for anyone that believes that they are also a face of illness, I do this book and I put it together and I publish it. Why? Because I immortalize that smile. That's making every minute count. I froze that moment in time and they can hold on to it forever. We should all feel that good every day, no matter what's going on inside.
No matter, oh, I love this. That's a ... We should all, we can all feel this way every day. ... No matter what's going on inside. See, HELP is another wonderful acronym. It stands for helping everyone live positively. We can do this. We do this by being the best you. See, this in Las Vegas, we bring you remarkable, amazing, bountiful beings. It's not about Cheri, a fabulous person as she is, or Barry, great guy. It's about you being the best you, because when you're the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. So, Cheri, we only have a few more minutes. Let's talk about what you're doing in terms of the ability to help other people, because you're the main clinician helping other people who are giving help to other people. How do you coach them? How do you educate them so they become, in your words, beautiful badasses? You like that, everybody? I love that term. It's on her the website of Face of Illness. Beautiful badasses.
Yes.
So how do you coach that?
Hey, you get in there and you just say, listen, I see you in ways that maybe you don't see yourself. And so when I help these foundations, I see these big opportunities. So Face of Illness Co-op is my overriding umbrella company. And I have all these projects underneath, and I can coach people through, hey, let's do events for like the terminal cancer. Let's do events for the neurodivergent population of athletes that want to get out there. Let's do events for people that want to get into the speaking realm. Operation Impact Tour is one of the main ones that came through from a two-time double lung transplant stonemason, Mark Rodriguez. And I think you've had a speaking engagement with him a couple of times on with the Tribune. So being able to tell these individuals, hey, I spent a lot of time in school. I spent 17 years in school working on 8 different degrees. I've been in a little bit of every industry. Why? Because my father said, learn a lot. Why? You'll always have work. Well, guess what I've turned that into? I can answer the questions and I could be everything that I know I needed as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. And so I can give out those tidbits to people that come my way. Cheri, how do I do this? Oh, hey, I've actually had to do that, because once I've hired somebody to do something once for my company, I made sure that I didn't have to hire them a second time. I learned how to do it. And that's that coaching component where it's like, I learned all this for you, so you didn't have to. Here's how I can help. But then there's the bigger part of the coaching. It's the psychological perspective. How we speak to ourselves is really how we're going to operate. If we say we can't do it, we're not going to do it. If we say, oh, it's too hard, then it's going to be too hard. You know what? Get your ass up and go and do it. You want to be a badass beauty, then go and do it. Why? Because you are already. You just may not see it.
This is such an important point that you're mentioning here. One of the things we talk about when I do my in-person, recently I spoke to a group of 1,127 people. And we're talking about the story of Barry Shore and a couple of insights that I had shared with people. And I mentioned that the 6th most important words you could ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will determine your pathway and your trajectory. So as you mentioned, when you choose to live life fully with happiness, well, guess what will happen? It will be a bit of what we call a shift in perspective. Now, like you, wonderful Cheri, I've been blessed to work with people for more than 4.5 decades now. And I can tell you 97.2% of the people I begin working with, and I'm talking about high achievers in every realm, they drop the F and shift and the other stuff happens. You got to be effing careful with yours. So you want to shift your perspective just slightly, and you can do everything that Cheri's talking about. living in environmental homeostasis. I just love those two words. And, and living life full of joy and happiness and peace and love, and redefining, as you said, the face of illness. I'm really taken by this point that that people actually separate the mental and the physical well-being. You're saying that oftentimes people say, well, okay, there's a mental block, but maybe it's a physical thing. It's something that ever so slightly could be taken care of with mild medication or something. If you, is that correct?
Absolutely. So one of the things when I get someone that comes to me for anxiety, first question I ask, do you have any conditions like heart-related conditions, murmurs? Why? Because anxiety is a physiological response to a thought pattern. However, a heart murmur triggers the same physiological response, but we're so crafted to believe that, oh no, I'm not handling everything. Now my heart's palpitating. Do you have a murmur? Because that's what it is. And as long as you get to that recognition point of origin, then, okay, my heart's all right. The rest of me is fine. My homeostasis has been curated to say, I have a heart condition versus, oh no, my anxiety is just way too off. Okay, well, if there's a gut issue, IBS or something like that, serotonin is made in the stomach. Well, most of it is, at least. And if there's something going on there, oh, I feel really, really depressed. Well, of course you do. The serotonin disruption is happening because you have these medical conditions. This is how how it gets exacerbated. This is how we can help condition some of it. But no, it's not a clinical depression. It's a whole nother category you don't hear much about. Depression due to general medical condition. It is an ICD-10 code for us. So this is where it's really understanding the difference between your physical health and your mental health and how one can trigger the other. But don't fall into this trap of, oh no, my headspace is all messed up, so therefore my life is going to go along with it. Nah, we got this. It's okay. Let somebody who really knows, deep dive with them and say, what is really going on? I know not every physician has all the time in the world. Not every clinician has all the time in the world. Sadly, clinical psychology is not something that's promoted as a career path, which is why we have a shortage worldwide, and we have to take on these other different routes. That's why I do helping profession training to get at least some people out there a little bit more equipped to recognize certain patterns. But we don't have to live that way.
Again, if you've been privileged to watch her as well, listening, this is not just information. This is not just inspiration, both of which are true. This is the T word. This is transformational. Absolutely fantastic. And because there is a proven relationship, first of all, between the gut and the mind, not even a question. And yet people go right to the head and forget about the physiological well-being. I'm so sorry to say these words that we're coming close to our time right now, Dr. Cheri. I have 3 quick questions for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Number 1, will you come back again?
Absolutely.
Woo! Thank you. Number 2, you only have 80 seconds to answer this. Dr. Wonderful Cheri, I added the wonderful, but you are. What is your most fervent desire?
To see no family suffer from illness.
To see no family suffer from illness.
We are not individual. We are families, blood or not.
It's a shift into environmental homeostasis. And the third, I love it. And third is, may I give you a hug in front of 386,922 people around the world? Let me tell you what HUG stands for. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Are you ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. And our blessing from wonderful Cheri and Barry is go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Get in gear and be a beautiful badass. Don't go away, Cheri.